Hey Garage Fabbers! A whole bunch of folks jumped on board, mostly from Puddin's Fab Shop, since the last Isuzu bed episode, so let me catch you up. My buddy Mark, who I recently found out has other friends, which doesn't hurt my feelings at all, but now I need to buy a bike, asked me for some assistance in making his bagged and body-dropped Minitruck more suitable for moving around BMX bikes, mountain bikes, coolers and stuff. So we cut out the old holy bed floor, framed it out, coated it with skeet metal, built some wheel tubs, and started making some access doors. In this episode, we do some body work, or something that kind of looks like body work. We try to create some better hinges for the rear access door, and we get this Isuzu bed a little closer to not being in my driveway. That reminds me, some folks have made fun of the way I say Isuzu. In the comments, where are you from, and how do you pronounce it? Isuzu. It's another weekend with Mark. Shut up. So, I don't know if you noticed, I knew you were looking, but what I did while you were gone was this back thing. Plan on doing riv nuts there and riv nuts there for the back panel. What I'm working on right now is these side pieces to make this lip on the side.
Okay.
The problem is, though, I screwed up the last piece of sheet metal.
Do you need more sheet metal?
Well, I was going to ask you, I have a giant piece of aluminum on the side of the house. Do you want to make this door out of aluminum?
Okay.
It would be lighter.
Sure.
And I have it. So also during the week, got these doors mostly made, but I'm not happy with how these are. These gaps are uneven, so I'm going to work on that. What do you want to do, Mark?
Get you some.
Oh, she's back. Guess who's back? Back again. Wifey's back. Tell a friend.
Penny song. It's Penny Lover.
It's copyright issue.
The winners.
Why are you jumping out? Hi.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's definitely too much.
Well, now you gotta put it down for a second.
You gotta put it down.
No, you gotta put it down for a second. Because I had to pause the music because copyright. Okay, go ahead, lift it. I just realized copyright was mentioned twice within 3 minutes. I thought I'd fill you in. YouTube is super strict about not using other people's intellectual property in your video unless you've paid for it or you have permission. And if you do, YouTube can delete the crap out of your channel. So we have to be really cautious.
Is this a video or is this?
Yeah, this is video.
Video. Oh, that worked out good.
Yeah, that was not so bad.
That is nice. Are we welding all this up?
Welding everything, yeah.
It'd be like.
Exactly. You're like, why did we do that before?
I'm kind of proud of myself for made those little patches in the end piece to get in there.
I'm also proud of you.
Yeah, you're right. There's no freaking place to grab it. Are we going back?
Up the hill. Oh, that's good.
Oh. Right there.
It started getting really windy, so I built this A-frame support real fast to keep the bed from blowing over. But then I didn't have gravity to hold the bed floor tight up against the wheel tub flanges, so I had to figure out another way of pressing the sheet metal tight against the wheel tub so that I could weld it. That was fun. Getting really close to finishing the metalwork on this bed. There's one more thing that I really want to do, is the bottom of these bed skirts are just kind of wavy and beat up. The factory put this kind of break right in the bottom, and that's for toughening up this edge, just to make it a little stiffer. But it can only do so much on a Minitruck that gets dropped on stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do is cut off this tiny little lip. We're gonna clean this up, and I wanna weld on some 1-inch, 1/8-inch thick steel flat stock. So this is nice and tough and straight, but we're not gonna get super involved. We're just gonna cut that off and weld on a piece of metal. That simple. Now, watch me do bodywork, but don't confuse it for how to, because I'm probably doing it all wrong. I've got a lot of experience with drywall mud, which is almost exactly the same. That's a joke. Laugh. I am using drywall knives though. While running my custom shop, Man Candy's Creations, I always made it clear that stuff like shaved door handles would need to be finished by someone far more awesome than me. You can make body filler look and feel fantastic, and then add quality paint, and suddenly it looks like dog shit. The metal putty knives are easy to clean as long as you do it before everything dries. If you wait until after it's all cured, you're gonna be hating life. But I really like using the metal ones over the flexible plastic ones. Now you can just finish cleaning them up, a little bit of acetone or brake cleaner or something. After the body filler starts to set up, it'll start to get stiffer and kind of rubbery, but still flexible. But before it gets hard, I'm going to use this, it's essentially just a cheese grater, but you can only do it when it's in the soft stage that it's in right now. And it's good to really quickly knock it down. Otherwise, these high spots are going to be pain in the butt to sand down later. So while it's still soft, do the little Parmesan cheese grady thing. What I do know about paint and body filler is if you want the stuff to stick, you need to prep the metal by scuffing it up really well and clean it. I think I was using 120 grit sandpaper on my DA sander. I think this is redundant, but I'm using phosphoric acid to chemically etch the metal. I honestly don't think it's doing anything that the sandpaper didn't already do. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Know what phosphoric acid works really well on? Surface rust. Holy crap, it's awesome. This time-lapse got 4.4 million views on Instagram, so I must not be the only one that thinks it's awesome. This stuff specifically is clean strip, concrete, and metal prep. No sponsorship here, it's just what I found on short notice, and I got really lucky. I will be testing it on some more severe rust soon.
It looks like the front part of this bed skirt is going to collapse when I tilt it. I don't remember that even being a thing when Mark and I lifted the bed together, but I don't want to be the reason the bed sides cave in, so I made a couple of little metal stilts that will hopefully keep that from completely crushing the sides. I think that's good. It looks good.
Oh hey, remember when I said I'm probably doing bodywork wrong? Well, now I'm sanding with a saw blade. Well, not really sanding, but I'm trying to locate the high spots in the filler by bridging the straight blade across the width of the fender tub. A long block sander would be the ideal tool for this, but I don't have one. So the goal is to scratch up the peaks in the filler so I know where to focus the DA sander and where to avoid. There is no way this would look good after paint, I promise. But it did help to show me that the metal itself was sticking up, not just the filler. So it got a little tappity tap.
I just got this long sander today. I'm super excited to try it out. My sticky paper is not long enough to get clamped on though. That's kind of annoying. But luckily, my foam pad is nice and clean, so hopefully this paper will stick on long enough for me to get some work done.
While on the topic of power sanders, I have avoided jiggly saws for years. Yes, I know what they're actually called, but that's boring. Well, it turns out the only thing I was avoiding was awesomeness. Get you one. You can get all kinds of attachments for this thing, including sanding pads. Heck yeah. The back of the bed near the tailgate needs some filler, but there's like 30 layers of old paint that I need to get rid of first. My aircraft stripper dried up though, so yay. Luckily, I had some in a spray can, but that stuff just doesn't work nearly as well. It got the job done though. We went over welding sheet metal to the framework and then finishing the corners in the previous videos, so today we're just going to review quickly. The corners are welded up slowly by spacing out a bajillion tack welds and keeping everything really cool. Then we carefully knock down the welds, still trying to keep from heating up the metal too much.
All right, here's stage one after knocking down all the peaks of the welds with the flap disc. And we can see we've got a few pits that we need to fill in there. And after we fill those in, we're gonna flatten it all out again. And then we'll move on to some finishing. Stage two is complete. All the pits are filled in on the corners. We're pretty even, but the corner is just a little wavy. So now we're gonna hit it with the flat sander. This is super new to me. I have not used this a whole lot in the past because I didn't know it existed. I kept seeing people use it on Instagram and whatnot, and it's been really quite incredible. And that's stage three. It's not absolutely perfect. If this was a show truck, we'd probably hit it with a long block to make all these tiny little variations in this corner disappear. But nobody's gonna be sticking their eyeball on this, so we're gonna say that's good.
This door is currently pivoting on nothing but a pair of 6mm bolts. It works, but it's gonna rattle like crazy, and I expect the holes to hog out over time and get worse. So we're gonna add some 3/4 inch DOM tube sleeves with some bronze bushings.
Part of the reason I start out with such a small hole is to test to make sure the functionality is exactly the way I want it to be. But the tiny hole acts as a pilot hole for a much larger bit with this stepped tip. So hopefully this tiny little precisely located hole will be just as precisely located with the larger bit. And then we'll finally make it the full size using one of these step bits. And I have a whole bunch because I don't know which one is sharp. And they all look pretty rough except for this one. This looks like this is the best one. And the good thing about this one is the largest size is a 3/4. So I can't accidentally go too big like I could with these. Yeah, that's nice. Uh-oh, doesn't reach all the way through. Let's see if I can snap this bit off. Looks like the 3/4 inch DOM tube is just a little bit bigger of a 3/4 inch than the 3/4 inch drill that I just used. What if we just clean it up with this guy? It's close. I don't really want to go bigger with another one because that'll be too big. But actually, you know what? I'm going to use this bit because this bit says 3/4, but it won't fit in there. So this 3/4 isn't actually 3/4. The good thing about the bigger bit is you can use it next step to kind of chamfer the edges a little bit. Clean it up, make it look nice. There it is. This is the DOM tube that I'm going to weld into the sides of the door that the bronze bushings fit in. And I have it inserted while it's a full piece. And you can see that I must not have drilled the hole perfectly straight through, or the sides warped a little bit when I was welding up these edges. But regardless, this is not straight, and if these are not straight going all the way through, that's going to cause problems when the door opens and closes, because this axis between this set of bushings and this set of bushings needs to be straight across, or it's going to try to bend the door as the door's opening and closing. So I've got an idea on how to fix this. I need to open up the hole on the inside here so that this bar can move around. There we go. Nice and wiggly. Now, how do I make sure that the piece that I put in here and the piece that I put in here have a perfect axis going all the way across the whole door? The door is made out of 1 inch square tubing, so I need bushings that are 1 inch wide. I'm going to mark this stuff at 1 inch wide to make sure that I cut it perfectly all the way around. I'm going to mark my cut line with this pipe cutter. This pipe cutter is not going to cut through this pipe. It is super thick, but it should score it. I put the wheel right on my mark. And now I have a nice line all the way around it. Now I'm going to cut it on this side of the line a little bit, and then I'll even it out with the flap disc. I got my 2 bushings cut out that are going to go in the wall here. And so now we're going to talk about how we make sure that these are welded in perfectly straight. I'm going to do that by using a piece of 1/2-inch rod that I bought that appears to be straight. So I'm going to use this rod as kind of an axle to position these. Stick the rod through the holes in one of the bushings. And then we put the other one in there on the other side. It might be obvious, but I forgot to mention that the inside diameter of this DOM tube is a 1/2 inch and this rod is a 1/2 inch. So it fits really tight on the rod. There's not a whole lot of play there at all. Well, that's kind of a kick in the face. I'm ready to weld those in, but I just realized that I am out of gas for the MIG welder. Oh, you want to see another kick in the face? I'm going to be unrecognizable soon with all these kicks to the face. I recently de-rusted the entire bed, and the day after, it rained. It really only rains in Vegas right after you wash your car, or apparently after you de-rust a bed. So I have to do it again. Oh, but you know what? I posted that de-rusting process on Instagram, and some people said in the comments that they protect it from rusting by spreading it on there and then letting a film develop. And so I did that on part of it. And check that out. This is where the phosphoric acid film was left, and then everywhere else just rusted to shit. Some other people said that you have to rinse it off really well, otherwise it's going to eat through the steel, but from my little bit of research, I don't think that's true. I think muriatic acid, the stuff that they use in pools, will certainly eat through metal if you leave it on too long. But from my understanding, phosphoric acid is quite a bit different. Check that out yourself, don't trust me. But I don't think phosphoric acid eats away at steel quite the same way. In fact, some of the comments I read were from painters that said that they leave a thin film on and don't even wash it off prior to primering and painting. So if you do paint, let me know in the comments if that's totally bogus. It seems like maybe the paint wouldn't bond very well if there's a film on there. I could be wrong, and I would really love to know that. The plan for this hinge, if we want to call it that, is to weld in 3/4 inch DOM tube into this hole. And in that is going to be copper or bronze oil impregnated bushings. A nice tight fit, too tight actually, because I got some boogers in there that I got to clean up, but it fits tight in there. And then we have some machined shouldered bolts that are going to slide in there. Another nice tight fit. And these bushings are replaceable, so if there's ever any slop in there, we can just replace those. And this is going to thread into the bed itself using nut certs or some riv nuts, a size that I've never used before. So I need to drill a hole in the bed that's going to fit this. And since I've never used it before, I don't know what size it's going to be. It's actually even bigger than the biggest drill bit I have, which is a 1/2 inch. I might be able to use a step bit. Something I like to do is drill into some plastic because it's really easy to drill through. I've got a little piece of plastic right here for some riv nuts of a different size that I've run out of. Got my 1/2 inch drill bit. See how easy that was? So we got a storage tub. Soft plastic, hopefully. Oh, that's nice. The 1/2 inch hole is not big enough. So let's see if my step bit has the right size in it. A lot of times they step up too fast. I think I just went too far. Awesome. So, let's try it again. Nope.
just go too far again? I partially did, but I think that step bit has the right size hole. I just need to make sure I don't go too far in the bed, because that would suck really bad. What size is that? 3 steps away from the top. 9/16, which is 1 step up from a 1/2 inch. That makes sense. I'm actually gonna put a mark there so that I know that that step is the one I want, not to go beyond that. All right, is that the right size? Ah, yuck. Oh, yuck. It's not snug at all. Shit. The problem with that is if these splines don't bite into the metal, you run the risk of this just spinning, which really sucks when you can successfully install a bolt and then you just can't take it out because it just spins and spins and spins. Man, that sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna try to install it anyways. There's so much wiggle. I hate it. Well, it feels pretty good. I don't know if it is good, but it feels pretty good. I don't have any other hole makers. Not the size I need anyways. Everything I have is 9/16, so I'm gonna use this again, except this time I'm going to try to not drill all the way through on that step. Just leave a little piece and then hammer the riv nut in there. Ow. Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna get a hammer and just whack it in there. Let's try a soft hammer first so I don't screw it up. Yeah, buddy. Oh, that's so much better than it was before. Come on, buddy. There we go. Well, damn it. This is a problem I have with riv nuts. Often, if any of you guys have any advice on how to keep this from happening, oh man, that'd be greatly appreciated, but I don't know if you can see the threads. Sorry, I'm winded. After trying to squeeze that riv nut tool, kind of took the wind out of me. You can see that the threaded hole is kind of off center. The outer perimeter of the riv nut is the centered part. This is accurate. This is exactly where I needed the threaded hole to be, but sometimes riv nuts just kind of collapse sideways a little bit, and it causes the threaded hole to end up not centered. And I have a feeling that's gonna cause a problem. The door is gonna be way too close to this edge because the hole migrated forward a little bit. So other than drilling this out and trying to do it again, I don't know what else to do. I got more gas. So now we can get back to work on the door. I hate buying gas. It's expensive. Somebody should give me free gas. And then I'll tell everybody how great your gas company is. And how all the other gas companies suck. Yeah. So now that we got more gas, let's try this again. Stick the rod through the holes in one of the bushings. And then we put the other one in there on the other side. Before fully welding these in, I'm going to try to test fit this door and see what we're looking at. Boop. 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 Yeah, awesome. The holes aren't in the right spot. It's hitting in the back and it won't close. Back to the drawing board. Well, now that it's daylight, I can see that not only does the door not shut properly, but the hinge design is also total crap. See how the shoulder bolt is rotating as the door moves? That means
that the entire bolt is rotating inside the nutsert. That's not going to last long at all. From this point of view, it should look like the bolt stays still while the door and the bushings rotate around it. So this entire thing needs to come apart, and we pretty much need to start over. And I want to go inside and go back to sleep.
Sometimes you just gotta step away and recharge, you know? So I'll keep moving forward after this. Soon. I promise. You're still there. It's kind of creepy. It's my bad. Oh, sorry. Until the next one, my friends. Keep moving forward. What the